Hello Live Wires, Heather Boyd Wire here, and today it's Tip Tuesday. Today we're making a mock chainmail angel. You are going to need some jump rings, some 20 and 26 gauge wire, your tools, and I'm using 4mm beads. So we're going to start with one of the jump rings, and we're just going to take our 26 gauge wire and we are going to just give it a little bit of a wind around one side of the jump ring. Now we're going to add a 4mm little imitation pearl, and I'm going to grab another jump ring and stack them up one on top of the other, and then I'm going to take the wire and wind them together. So we're just going to put that 26 gauge wire through there, feed it through, and you need to give it a good little tug to make sure it's nice and secure. So then we want to split those open. So we have one beside the other, and we're going to put another bead on there. And then we'll need another jump ring, and we're going to put it to the back. Works better if you put it to the back, and then take the end of the wire and string it through, and that will attach those two jump rings together. Give it a good little wiggle and a tug. Open it up, and then you have 3 in a row. You could just keep going and make a whole bracelet like this if you want. We're going to make a triangle shape. So we've got the 3 on the bottom, and then we put the wire through the other side there. Just feed it through and give it a good little tug. So we have our first row of the jump rings with the beads, and then we need to go towards the second row. So I'm going to wind it back in that jump ring, going towards the other side, because we need a next row of jump rings that is going to be 2 in a row. So now we'll put one jump ring behind and wind that wire through. So we're attaching the second row of jump rings. So give it a good little tug. And there we have that jump ring ready for the second row. You could give it a little pinch with the tweezer nose pliers to flatten it a little bit. We'll string that wire through again, and this time we want to attach it to the middle ring. So we're going to go through that middle ring. So we've had that jump ring attached in 2 places. And we'll just stick that little end through. And we're going to go through again, and we're going to need another jump ring beside there. We'll attach the beads after. We're just going to put our jump rings first, so just put it right behind the one you want to wind it together with. Take that end and string it through. Give it a good little tug, and then wind it through the last jump ring on the first row. So we've got it attached in both of those rings. So we have a little row of 2 jump rings. So what we'll do is we'll wind the wire around so it's in the center, and at this point we can add the beads in the middle row. So we're just going to take that wire, wind it around, get our 4mm pearl, slide it right in there so it's in the middle of the first jump ring, and take the wire, hold the bead in the middle of the jump ring, and feed it through, and give it a good little tug. So then we're going to need another little pearl. I just bought these pearls at the dollar store. They're fun for crafts, and great for my samples. So we're going to put the wire through there and give it a good little tug. Again, this is 26 gauge wire. I wouldn't use any thicker than that, otherwise it's going to be really hard to wind it through the jump rings. So now we have to make our way up. We're going to bring that wire around and add our last jump ring. So stack it behind the jump ring you want to attach it to. Grab the end of the wire with the pliers if it's easier. Give it a good little tug so we've got it attached in one place there. And then we're going to add the bead. So just center the bead, and then we could just wind that end around to secure it in the jump ring. Bring it straight up. So now we're going to have to deal with that other end. So I just clipped it off, and then I'm going to add a separate wire to attach those top jump rings. So we're just going to bring that around, and we'll just attach those jump rings with another piece of 26 gauge wire. So we'll just feed it through there, give it a good little tug. Make sure it's nice and secure. Wind it through the ring a couple of times, and then I'm going to actually bring it right up through that 4mm bead. The hole is big enough that I can run it through and feed it up towards the top. So then we have two ends of the 26 gauge wire right at the top there. So that's basically the dress. Now we're going to do the wings. So this is 20 gauge wire. You could probably use about 8 to 10 inches depending on how big you're making your wings. So these are the 6-step looping pliers from Beadalon to make even loops and curves. So we're doing the outside shape of the wings. You'll notice I folded the wire in half so I would get them to be symmetrical, and then we're just going to open them up. I do a butterfly design like this where you open them up and so both sides are really even. If you want to make the middle a little more curved out, you can adjust it. So now we're just going to do little loops in the wings just to make them really stylized. So just bring those little loops around using your small round nose pliers. I'll link up all my tools in the description below. These are great pliers. They're stainless steel, very high quality, and they make nice tiny little loops. So we're just going to bring that around to make our fancy little loops, and then bring the wires straight up. I'm just making the curve a little more pronounced. I wanted them just to stick out a little bit more. And then I'm going to take one of the ends and wind it around, give it a good little tug, pinch it in with the flat pliers to make it more secure. And then we're going to take the other end and just bend it down. And this one we're just going to clip it. And it's just going to sit in there nice and flush. So we'll take the flat pliers and pinch it in. So there's our cute little wings. And from there we'll just take the body. We're going to place it in position, and now we're going to use the ends of the 26 gauge wire we had just to wind it around on the wings. Wind it a couple of times and then clip those ends so it's nice and secure. Pinch it in a little bit. So there's the wings on the body. Do any little adjustments you need. And then from there we're going to bend it more towards the front and then straight up. And we can add a 6mm pearl bead. Give it a good little clip there, about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. And we'll get our round pliers and form a little loop. It's going to be perpendicular to your piece. Make any adjustments you need. And then to finish it off, to make a little halo, we'll take another jump ring, slide it on to that little loop, and we'll close it up, and there's your cute little mock chainmaille angel pendant. And I made a bunch of other samples with seed beads and then also larger jump rings. So sky is the limit, this fun little design. And I'll post the templates in the description below the video. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire art and jewelry, be sure to join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to sign up below, I'll send you my Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.